Ach, schön. Es gab leider nichts anderes.
Constable Oliver.
Ups.
Huh?
Ham and eggs. Piping hot.
Oh, I shouldn't really.
I don't see anyone here who'd rebuke you.
Smells so
It was a hard
good.
night.
Yeah, true. Oh, delicious.
Delicious.
Just enough salt.
Please hold the lion.
Oh, that was good of you. Cheers.
You don't expect me to wash your dirty dishes as well, do you?
Oh, of course not, Your Majesty.
Oopsie.
Could you bring me something to drink? Those ham and eggs were pretty salty.
I'm sorry. I have to proceed with my investigations. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Let's see how long he can resist his thirst.
Wer guckt? Erstmal, guckt keiner.
Not long at all.
Und tschüss. Meine wunderbaren Haare. Also da.
Nervous? I would be too in your position. Who paid you to distract us?
What?
You went for a walk around the deck and let yourself be seen. Everyone goes off hunting you, and in the meantime, your partner shoots the Baroness in peace.
No, I didn't do anything. I didn't want to distract anyone. I just want to go home.
What were you searching for on deck last night?
I was hiding the whole evening. I wanted to go out and get some fresh air, see the stars. But then suddenly, they were looking for me.
Were you in one of the cabins?
No!
Did you see anyone on the deck or on the roof?
No!
And after we arrested you?
The English policeman put me in this cell. Then he left. I've been here ever since.
And you didn't notice anything along the way?
No, nothing.
It's hard for me to believe a single word of your story.
Because I'm a foreigner?
Because you seem to have learned our language in the space of a day. Accent-free.
Believe what you want.
What about the gunshot? Didn't you hear it?
Yes, the English policeman had already arrested me. We heard a bang and looked around.
And then?
Then, the Bobby was in a hurry to get rid of me. He almost pushed me down the stairs and locked me in here. He left, and then a short time later, the alarm went off.
Constable Oliver wasn't with you anymore when the alarm went off?
No, I was scared that the ship would sink with me sitting here like a rat in a trap.
Who are you?
My name is Adil, and you are...
Constable Zellner. Why did you sneak onto the ship, Adil?
I wanted to go back home.
You're Egyptian?
There's no work for me in Italy. I want to see my family again.
And since you don't have money, you stowed away.
So what if I did?
Ganz klar. Erstmal fragen. Behauptungen aufstellen. Ihn ordentlich kitzeln. Und dann fragen, ach, wie heißt du eigentlich? Diese Frage immer nach, wer ist er? Ist für mich nie auf die Person bezogen, mit der ich gerade rede, sondern immer jemand, über den ich eigentlich reden will mit der Person. Deswegen dachte ich, wer ist er, bezieht sich auf den Auftraggeber, den anderen Typen, den Mörder, was auch immer, aber nicht über Adil.
So, it was you who knocked me out.
Me? Never.
No? Where were you when I was attacked?
Well, I couldn't take anything with me on this trip, so I snuck into the kitchen and took some canned goods.
Interesting. And how do you know when I was attacked?
Well, I thought it was yesterday, shortly before we set sail.
I take this bump personally. You're a liar, and a bad one at that.
But sir, I'm telling the truth.
And I'm the Raven. Inspector Legrand will deal with you. He's lying like a cheap rug. But he probably doesn't know anything about the murder. Very disappointing. so I have to keep searching. What interests me most is the shot that was fired here in the cargo hold last night.
Aha, genau. Irgendwo muss ja noch ein Einschussloch sein, ne? Er sagte irgendwo in einer Kiste. Wir können den Spind nochmal... Da ist auch ein Loch, oder? In dem Spind?
The cargo hold also seems to serve as a changing room for the crew. At least for the ones who don't wear white uniforms.
Ist das nicht ein Loch?
A stroke of luck. The lock is open.
Ah, das ist auf meinem Bildschirm, sorry.
Oil-stained overalls. And here, an old toolbox.
Ja, wunderbar. Guck mal.
It's been through a lot. Hardly any paint, dented, and the lid is held shut by a wire. I'll take it with me.
Huh?
Some wrenches,
Es war keine
a bit
Spucke
of
auf dem Bildschirm.
wire, an oily cloth, and here, a screwdriver.
Ein Screwdriver. Sehr schön. Meins. Und was mit dem Draht? Hat er den auch mitgenommen?
I've got the screwdriver. That's all I need.
Oh, okay. Doch, der ist auch da. Der Draht ist auch da. Schön. Sehr gut. Da ist die Kiste mit dem Einschussloch.
Whoever fired the shot hit the crate.
Aha. Genau. Da hatte ich ja beim letzten Mal schon gesagt. In Amerika heißt es Crate. In England heißt es Box. Gehen wir einfach mal nach hier hinten. Da scheint ja nichts mehr zu sein. Übrigens, Glück gehabt, ne? Die Kiste steht nämlich direkt neben einem Fass mit irgendwas Brennbarem. Ich habe einen Krampf im Fuß. Das ist voll schlimm. Ich überstrecke gerade den Fuß, damit es aufhört. Ist es noch nicht vorbei? Wartet, irgendwas war hier, oder? War es nur das nach oben gehen? Ja, Frachtraum verlassen. Dann gehen wir mal nach hinten. Ja, geht schon längst wieder. Wie ein paar Sekunden. Entschuldigung, bis mein Kaffee gemacht war. Also, ihr habt mindestens ein ganzes Lied gehört, ne? Die Truhe.
Somebody put the trunk back on the shelf. I can't tell whether it was our young friend or someone else. It must be uncomfortable traveling like that, even if you're as young and slim as our guest in the cell over there.
Da haben wir einen Shot gehabt, ne? Kommen wir auch nicht hin. Aha. War nicht hier eigentlich was unter die Palette gefallen, ha? Vielleicht können wir hier jetzt was von mitnehmen?
I could take one of the saws with me as a souvenir. On the other hand, it'd remind me of my bump and of my rather inelegant escape.
Ach, den kurzen Streamausfall. Das waren nur Sekunden. Ich habe das ja nicht mitbekommen. Ich habe das nachgelesen, als ihr dann schon geschrieben habtet, ach, geht wieder. Deswegen. No. Ich glaube, hier ist nichts mehr. Aber wir haben ja jetzt einige Dinge, mit denen wir arbeiten können, ne? Einen Draht, einen Schraubendreher. Ah, ist hier vielleicht noch irgendwas? Na. Das Auto. Oh, Moment. Nee, verlasse den Frachtraum. Ich finde die Musik schön. Ich mag die. Solche Musik höre ich wirklich gerne.
Maybe I won't get another chance to look around the cargo hold. I must try to find out who was responsible for the shot.
Okay, dann gucken wir doch mal, opala, ob die Kugel noch in der Kiste drin ist. Vielleicht können wir sie ja mit dem Schraubendreher rausziehen. Mit dem Screwdriver. Das ist eigentlich fast ein schöneres Wort als Schraubenzieher.
Well, I think the bullet is still in the wood.
Die Haare.
I'm not a weapons specialist, but at first sight I'd say that this bullet looks exactly the same as the one Dr. Gebhardt gave me for Legrand.
Okay.
That would mean that the murderer also fired a shot here in the cargo hold before the murder. But why? Did they just want to make sure the old gun still worked? Or was it something else? And did the bullet really come from the same gun? I can only check that in Legrand's cabin.
Na, dann gehen wir jetzt raus. Ups.
That takes the biscuit.
I noticed that the door was unguarded. I just wanted to make sure that everything was all right.
Tell it to Legrand. He's expressly forbidden anyone to speak to the witness before he does.
Ach, stell dich mal nicht so an.
Don't act like that. Legrand can't manage all this alone. We're a team.
Only until the end of this case.
All right. Let's go to Legrand and tell him what happened. You fell asleep and then you left the door unguarded. Well, are we going? Hmm?
No, but don't try it again.
Of course not.
Gute Nacht, Markus. Schlaf schön, träum was Schönes. Okay, ja, da ich jetzt mit den beiden noch gar nicht geredet habe, sollte ich das vielleicht nochmal nachholen. Oder warte, wir können Maddie jetzt seine Zwille zurückgeben. Da, Maddie. Hier, bitteschön.
Psst, Matt.
What?
Here's your slingshot back.
Really? Thanks.
You're welcome. But
Yes? Huh?
you should put Constable Oliver on the list of people who'd better not see it.
Oh.
I understand. Don't worry, I'll be careful.
Good man.
Okay. Kann ich nicht. Doch. Betrachte Miss Miller und Professor. Gute Nacht, Kamedung, süße Träume.
Miss
Flashing.
Miller and the professor are talking intensely. She seems pretty relaxed, by her standards.
Ja. Das ist wirklich dieses typische 60s-Bild, ne? Was die andere Dame uns übrigens auch präsentiert hat. In der Sonne liegen, auf dem Sonnendeck und sich da im Bikini räkeln oder eben bei Wind mit dem Kopftuch und einem Damen-Trenchcoat.
Good morning, Miss Miller. Professor Lucien?
Constable Zellner, how are you? I heard you passed out last night.
Well, not quite. I was poisoned.
Oh,
Die roten Augen.
That wretch!
Dieser Schuft, genau. Mhm.
Who do you mean by that wretch?
That stowaway! That new raven!
The young man can't be the murderer. Constable Oliver had already apprehended him when the shot was fired.
You mean...
Whoever killed the Baroness is still on the loose.
I think I should take my leave. I'd like to rest for a while.
One last question, Professor.
Yes.
Do you think the eye is well protected in the safe in Legrand's cabin?
Of course it is. They assured me that it would take hours of work with heavy machinery to crack the safe. And if Legrand isn't in his cabin, Constable Oliver or I check that everything is in order every hour.
Okay.
I understand.
I want to go back to my cabin. I'll see you later, Mary.
oh. Of
Stimmt.
course.
Der läuft wie ein
See you
Sim.
later.
Der läuft wirklich wie ein Sim.
I didn't want to interrupt your conversation with Professor Lucien so abruptly.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
Learning that there's still a burglar on board seemed to frighten him.
He was so relaxed the whole time, and then...
And then the stupid Swiss constable came by and made him anxious.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
No matter. I'm sure he'll calm down and come back soon enough. May I ask you a few questions?
Of course.
Ja, das sind so riesen Pferdezähne einfach, ne? Die sind einfach viel zu groß für ihr Gebiss. Also da fragt man sich, bis wohin die Zähne hinten gehen sollen oder ob sie wieder einen Kranz schließen, damit das passt. Und die Gesichtsanimation ist ein bisschen too much, ja.
How is Matt? He seems happy enough.
After all the commotion, he's already back to his old self again. But I haven't told him about the murder. That would be a bit too much for him.
I think he's made of sterner stuff.
I want to thank you again for what you did on the train. I wouldn't have known...
Everything's fine. Think nothing of it.
Das ist nicht mal Overacting, oder? Ich weiß nicht, was ich ohne sie gemacht hätte. Dekolleté-Griff. So, der hat noch gefehlt. Der hat noch gefehlt. Das gab es ja wirklich früher so im Mittelalter. Dekolleté-Griff. Stirngriff. Mundgriff. Also, furchtbar.
How was last night for you?
It was awful. I was having a conversation with Edgar, Professor Lucien, here on the forecastle. Then I wanted to look for the lady and went forward via the side deck. When I passed the Baroness's cabin, I heard a muffled scream.
You heard a scream?
Yes. I thought the Baroness probably had a fall. I went to the door and listened for a moment. Since I couldn't hear anything, I knocked on the door and asked whether she was all right. There was no answer.
Interesting. And then?
I didn't know what to do, so I tried to open the door. It was locked. I saw the Baroness's butler, Mr. Inch, on the forecastle. I thought he might have the key and went back. On the way, the bobby crossed my path, and then Edgar, who wanted to check the safe. I explained the situation to him, and then the alarm went off.
Mhm.
How did the scream sound?
It was a short outcry, very frightened, as if someone had been startled.
Was it a woman's voice?
Yes, the voice was high.
So it could have been a scream from the Baroness. Possibly because she discovered someone in her cabin.
Possibly.
That person might have threatened her with a weapon, so that she wouldn't scream for help.
Oh, God.
He waited until the coast was clear.
Oh, please, stop it, Mr. Zellner.
The Baroness's butler said that he was on the forecastle as well?
Yes, he was standing on the other side of the deck smoking a cigarette.
Was he on the forecastle the whole time?
I'm not sure. He was there, and later he was on the side deck with us. Oh, yes, he looked after you while you were unconscious. He unbuttoned your collar and held your head while the doctor checked you.
But you can't say for certain whether he came from the forecastle with you and Professor Lucien, or afterwards.
Well, no. But where else could he have come from?
You're American, aren't you?
That's correct.
And you moved to England because of the job?
I lived in England before. During the Second World War, I volunteered. I worked in a pharmacy on a US base north of London.
In a pharmacy? Interesting.
Well, it was the war and everyone was sent where they could help best.
Please, go on, Mrs. Miller.
After the war, I studied music in London. I met my husband there. We married and went back to the States together.
He was also American?
No, English. But he said he had problems with his family and he wanted to be as far from them as possible.
And you gave up your studies for him?
Well, yes, I did.
Also, ihre Animation, ihre Gesichtsanimationen sind grottenschlecht. Die steht die ganze Zeit da so. Und dann... Das ist doch creepy. Mega creepy.
Life as a single mother couldn't have been easy.
It was pretty tough then. I worked from morning till night and it was still only enough for the bare necessities. And I couldn't give Matt all the attention he needed.
And then Lady Westmacott entered your life.
It was like an angel appeared to me. She must have offered me the position out of pity. I had no experience as a carer. She made me a generous offer. I couldn't believe it. And she really adores Matt. She's offered him a good education, and now he has every opportunity in life.
An almost unbelievable story.
I'm still afraid that it's a dream and that I'll wake up one day.
How does it feel to work for such a world-famous person?
The work is very interesting and varied, and it pays well too.
You are very lucky that the lady offered the position to you.
I just hope she won't change her mind one day. What would become of Matt's education then? I really make an effort to measure up to Lady Westmacott's expectations, but Sometimes I feel like I fall short.
Lady Westmacott couldn't ask for a better companion.
I'm saving up as much money as I can all the same. I'd do anything so that Matt doesn't have to give up his new life.
Lady Westmacott dropped a hint on the train that she killed her hero, Partout. What did she mean by that?
Oh, she must have meant the manuscript.
Manuscript?
She always takes it with her. It's an unpublished Partout novel. I once asked her why she never published it. She said that according to her will, the novel's only to be published after her death.
And in it, Partout will be killed?
Maybe. I've never read it. No one has. You'd better ask her yourself.
If you worked in a pharmacy, you would certainly know something about medicines and poisons.
Everything is a potential poison, Constable. It depends on the dose.
Have you ever heard of chloral hydrate?
It's a tranquilizer, isn't it?
I'm asking you.
Well, Lady Westmacott also asked questions like that, for her last novel. But since I've never wanted to kill anyone, I never bothered with things like strychnine and arsenic and all that. I could recommend something for a headache, a sore throat, or a rash.
That's kind of you, but there's really no need.
Gute Nacht, Son of Dragon. Süße Träume. Mach's gut. Das kann natürlich gut sein, Morgate. Wäre ja nicht das erste Mal, dass das sich dann als Oma oder Opa herausstellt. Nur meistens ist es einfach ein bisschen anders. Dann ist es wie bei der kleine Lord, ne? Ja, der kleine Lord Fauntleroy, der von seinem Großvater herangebeten wird und die Mutter wird aber ausquartiert in irgendeine armselige Hütte am Rande der Grafschaft oder so. Nein, aber das wäre natürlich ein netter Zug, wenn Lady Westmacott die Oma wäre. Wahrscheinlich waren ihre Eltern Geschwister. Das ist bestimmt auf eure Vermutung bezogen, dass die gute Dame Nosferatus Schwester ist, ha? Wegen der Finger.
You and Professor Lucien seem to be having a lively conversation.
Oh, yes. He's an expert in ancient Egyptian art and preeminent in hieroglyphic research. He's the head of the Egyptian department in the British Museum, you know. And he's going to open an exhibition at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
Right. For the eye.
They had planned on exhibiting both jewels together for the first time in decades, but that's not going to happen now, sadly. I think it's quite upsetting for him.
We're working hard to ensure that at least one eye will be on display.
I know. I'll ask Lady Westmacott if she'd like to participate in the opening of the exhibition. I think it would be good for her.
And Professor Lucien will surely offer you a private tour.
Bestimmt.
Did you report that to Inspector Legrand?
Yes, last night. He was very interested and took a lot of notes. But I wanted to look for Lady Westmacott, and he let me go without further delay. He said that he'd take down my full statement today.
I understand.
Do you think the man from the train also killed the Baroness, Constable Zellner?
I don't know yet.
It's horrible. Explosions, thieves, murderers. This isn't the right place for a lady and a little boy.
I'll be seeing you, Miss Miller.
Constable?
Okay. Wunderbar. Och ja, wie ist er so schön müde. Der soll nicht so viel gehen, sonst muss ich gleich auch gehen. Gähnen. Zum Glück hat uns das Spiel direkt zu Anfang mit einer derartigen Animation verschont. Ich hätte das sonst gar nicht ernst genommen. Das stimmt. Aber sie ist auch die einzige, die so wirklich total creepy animiert ist, oder? Also hier mit Miss Myers war doch sehr angenehm, fand ich. Will ich da noch mal hin? Nein, ich will in Legrands Büro. Es ist so süß, wie er mit so herrlich, wie er mit seinem Bauch da steht. Aha. Auch das. Gehen wir mal runter. So. Dahin.
The lock isn't especially secure. I should be able to open it with the wire from the cargo hold.
So schnell ging das. Oh, oh, ich muss es